everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be the first video where we actually color for the Hanna Karlzon color along that we're doing on my channel and in my Facebook group. And I am so excited to get started with this page that we have picked out. Now, I know that some of you are probably just stumbling across this video because it may have been suggested to you or came up in the browse feature on YouTube. And just so you can kind of follow along and know what's going on, I'm going to explain just a little bit about the color along. So for those of you that may just be stumbling across this video because it was either suggested to you or you did a search on YouTube or what have you, we are doing a color along in my Facebook group. We are following a theme. The theme is mystical. And I did one video where I suggested a bunch of different mystical or pictures that would fall under the theme mystical. You can find that video further back in my channel, and I will also have it linked in the description below and most likely in a card to the right hand corner. So the book that we're using for this color along is Magical Dawn, and I chose a page that I'm going to do, and that's the page we're going to be working on today. I also had another video where I chose all of the colors for a limited color palette. This is the palette that I chose. We had two to choose from, and so the palette that I choose, I always, on my channel, I will also put that on the screen too, if that will be a little bit more helpful. And I don't know, maybe I can leave the palette up on the screen through the whole video. I'll see how that works when I go through and do my editing. But I always go through and do a video and show you how to pick your pencils. So we usually primarily always use Prismacolor pencils. And so I did all of it with Prismacolor pencils, and I chose 3 pencils for each swatch on the color palette. And so this is my limited color palette. Then today I put out another video and I did the same thing for Black Widows, because I know a lot of you that are watching my videos found me through my Black Widow videos. So I went ahead and did an exact match to the Black Widow pencils. I don't know how well you can see this on camera because I'm kind of zoomed in so that we could color together, but I did a pretty good match, and I was able to match up all of the Prismacolor pencils with almost an exact match of the Black Widow pencils. And I did that so that all of you could join us and we could have more people participating in the color along for those of you that want to use your Black Widows, since we just got those beautiful new monarchs. So if you would like to follow us for the color along and do this along with us, please make sure that you go to the description below and join my Facebook group so that you can stay updated as we go through the color along, not just on my YouTube channel, but in my Facebook group as well. Everybody goes in and shares their progress on their coloring pages, and I kind of do updates in there and everything as to how it's going and where we are, as well as do all the tutorials on my YouTube channel. Please also make sure that you subscribe to my channel and turn your bell notifications on. And if you love watching tutorials on YouTube, please make sure that you do give this video a thumbs up. That will help YouTube to know what types of videos that you like, and it will continue to recommend those types of videos to you. And it also helps out my channel a great deal, which I really appreciate. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to... This is the page we're working on. Okay, so we're coloring this one today. As we start this page, the bottle that says memories here in the center. I yesterday did a bottle on another page, and I shared it in my Facebook group, but I want to show you how to make this bottle look like it has a bubbly liquid potion in it. So this is going to be a pretty interesting tutorial, and if you're working on the same page and you're using the same pencils as me, or even have picked your own pencils, and you want to take a minute to put your pencils together and pick out the combination that you want to use to color this bottle along with me, go ahead and pause the video and do that now. and then start the video back up when you are ready to start. So go ahead and get all of your things together, and I'm going to show you exactly what I would do to make this look like this bottle has actual liquid in it. So you will see me turning my page kind of back and forth so I could get the right angles and everything, so that I can make sure that y'all can see everything that I'm doing, and that I'm always in frame and my hands not laying over my pencil, because I want y'all to be able to pay really close attention, because we're going to actually kind of draw some things onto the page, or that's how we're going to start anyway, because we need to draw the lines where the liquid is going to stop here in the top of the cup. So if I get really quiet, don't pay any mind to that, just kind of follow along, but I may get quiet at times, and that just means I'm concentrating. So sometimes I just need to do that. So let me go ahead and get my pencil sharpened. Okay, so the pencil sharpener that I'm using is this Doll 133. It is now my absolute favorite pencil sharpener. I did a review on this pencil sharpener, and I will make sure that I link that up in the cards, because it really is an amazing pencil sharpener. And I will show you after I sharpen this, the beautiful lead that it puts on your Prismas. But I need to get them all very sharp, because especially that dark blue, I am going to need to be able to put some really precise lines at the top when I draw in where the liquid level is at the top of the cup. Okay, so our pencils are all nicely sharpened. Look at what a great lead that pencil sharpener creates on the Prismas, and I've not had any breakage issues with this pencil sharpener. I will link this pencil sharpener down below in the description as well, and up here in the top right hand corner I will have a card for the video where I did the review on this pencil sharpener. So I am using Ultramarine. It's PC 902. Light Aqua, which is PC 992, and I'm using Light Green, which is PC 920. So get out your pencils, whatever ones that you... Oh, I'm also going to be using the Sky Blue Light, and I can't see the number because I have it in a pencil extender. So, and I may have to bring in a little bit of white. And I also have my Posca and my white gel pen, but those are for later. So you'll see what I'm going to do with those. But first, you're going to have to make sure that you've got a really sharp lead on your darkest of colors. You're going to use your darkest color to do this with. And so you're going to decide where you want the liquid to stop in your glass. And I think that I'm going to do it right about here. And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to draw like a half circle here. And this is where I'm going to get quiet because I'm trying to concentrate. Okay, so that is where our liquid is going to be. Okay, so I zoomed you in a little bit closer, and hopefully you can see that. But now I'm going to come in and I'm just going to do just the corners here. And when you're doing this, you are going to be very light-handed. And as you can see, I'm holding my pencil from the very top so that I don't put a lot of pressure and end up being heavy-handed. But I'm coming down the sides with my darkest color, and I'm just, right now I'm just kind of leaving out some of the parts because I don't know if I'm going to decide to create a reflection there. I'm talking as I go because I don't really know. yet what I want to do. Okay, so down here, down here at the bottom is kind of an ornate just decoration on the bottle. So we're going to have to figure out here how to go around those. And we're just going to kind of come in here. It is going to be, the liquid would be, I would assume, darker at the bottom of the bottle. But we are going to come back and blend some of this out. So I'm just kind of coming along some of the edges, but I'm not pressing very hard because this is quite a dark color. I'm trying to make sure that I am still in frame for y'all. Sometimes I'll make a video and I have to edit stuff out because I accidentally went out of frame or I put my hand in the wrong place, so I have to like keep looking up to check. Okay, so I think we've got enough of this in the areas we need it. And I'm just trying to kind of pull this through. I guess I ended up going over the one spot over here where I thought that I might want to bring in a little bit of reflection, but I still have some over here, and if I decide not to do that, I can always go back and take it out. So the next color that we are going to come in with to kind of try to pull some of this out is our light aqua. And we, again, are using a very light hand. You really don't need more than that when you're using Prismas. Now we're not pulling this all the way. And we want to keep it darker on the outer edges and then lighter as we come in closer towards the center. And I like how that looks here, where it looks like I've got a little bit of a reflection there where I came in with this light aqua. So I may grab my eraser and try to take some of that dark blue out, but we'll see how that goes. So I'm coming in the center here, down at the bottom, trying to make sure I'm still in frame. So down here at the bottom, again, you don't want to do too much, and you don't want to do it too fast, especially if you really, like for me, I know you guys are following along with me, but I'm still kind of in that mindset where I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want the outcome to be. I have an idea, and if you are in my Facebook group, you saw that I posted a picture of one that I already did like this, and told you all that I'd be doing a tutorial on how I created that. But this bottle has this ornate design on it, and the other one did not, so this one is a little bit different than the other one, and this one is rounded, and the other one was a more rectangular shape. So that makes a difference too, for me anyway. Now this is not my lightest color I'm going to be using. That light green is the lightest I'm going to be using. So the liquid would naturally get lighter as you come in closer to the center. So you just kind of have to imagine if it was a, you know, like a real bottle with potion in it, and how it would look. And I do want this memories part, I'm going very lightly in here, but I do want this memories tag or whatever, or I don't know, what would you call it, that is on the bottle. I am going to want that to kind of stand out and make it look like it's kind of lifted off the bottle. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to do that. And you would use your darkest color to do that, which would be your shadowing color. This color that I'm using right now is what I would call my shading color. And I've not gotten to my highlight color yet. Okay, so I have my little Mono Zero eraser, which I absolutely love. I'll make sure I link this down in the description. But I'm coming in here to try to take out some of that ultramarine, because I think I want it to look more reflective right in that area. But I wonder how much of that pigment I'll be able to remove. Sometimes you can remove them and sometimes you can't remove it once you've laid it down. It depends how dark and pigmented the color is, and it also depends on the paper in the book that you're coloring in. But I'm going to stop now because I don't want this teal to be too dark. I'm going to come in now and kind of spread this out a little bit with my Skylight Blue. And I just want to kind of blend this in to get rid of some of the white until I get an idea of where I'm going with this. Well, see, this is a really good color because it is so light, so it is really going to just add the look that I'm looking to add to this bottle and just kind of pull it all through. So I'm putting this in all the white space, and I'm going to do the same thing up here. But I don't want to add too many layers because I don't know how many layers this paper will actually take, and I don't think that it's that many. So I don't want to lay too much of this down because I still have quite a bit of work to do. This is actually just the start of it. So up here where we have, you know, the open part where it looks like the liquid would be laying, I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to do this very lightly. You need to make sure you do this ever so lightly and don't put much pressure at all on your pencil. You could even leave part of it in some areas more white and just leave the white of the paper. And I want to come in here and kind of go over this and make it a little bit darker teal, because this should be darker right up here at this part. And I am going to have to come back in. I'm just kind of laying a little bit of this light aqua back over where I had the Skylight Blue, and kind of just mixing those two colors. but you can tell that I am hardly laying anything down at all. I mean, this is like the lightest of pressure. The darker areas are going to be the areas to the outside, and of course down here at the bottom where we've got this design at the bottom of the cup. Okay, so it's coming along nicely. I am going to actually come in with my light green, and I'm just going to kind of go around and add a little bit of green just in certain areas, just to add more color. Because this color is just beautiful. And it kind of, I don't know if you could tell on camera as I start to add this, but it just really breaks it up, and it makes it, to me, it makes it look more like a potion, because it's just, I don't know, it's just adding that extra color to me makes a difference. But I'm going to add more down in here. But it just kind of breaks it up, and it makes it, I don't know, is magical a good word? It makes it look more magical, like an actual potion. And I'm just putting it in certain areas. And I'm trying to leave a little bit of the much lighter areas, kind of like here and here. And I want to leave some white open, so it looks like the liquid is just kind of moving around, I guess, inside the bottle. And like I always tell you in all my videos, just go really slow with this. Don't be in a rush. Okay, now maybe I can come up here and just add a little bit up here to the one side. And I kind of like how I left this a little bit white. I had already created this, like I said, in another bottle, and I shared it with you in my Facebook group, but that was like my first practice page, I guess. That was actually the first time I ever did this. I just kind of had these thoughts in my head, how I wanted it, you know, what I wanted the outcome to be. And then I just created it from an idea that I had on my head, and I went online and I pulled up a couple actual real pictures, and I just kind of let that guide me into what I, you know, to the outcome of whatever I wanted to actually create. And it actually turned out really nice. Now, if you can tell, as I come in here and I keep adding the darker color, you can see the difference it makes in your coloring page or whatever object it is that you're working on. Because watch this. So if I come in here and I just add the much darker color right in there, look how it just changes the way that your eyes see it. It actually makes the bottle look even more rounded. But see, when you're using the Prismacolors, you kind of have to be careful when you're doing this, because like with oil-based pencils, you can get a much sharper outcome. So with the Prismacolors, you kind of have to keep sharpening your pencil to get the same look, because they're so much softer. So down here at the way bottom, can you see what I'm doing? Down here at the way bottom, I'm going to really darken this up. But these are just like all the little finishing touches that I keep coming in and doing. And when I feel like my lead is just getting too dull, I turn my pencil. So I'm just trying to kind of make this design down here to the bottom of the bottle so that it kind of stands out and just pops and makes it look like it's like the liquid is behind it. So that is my reasoning as to why I'm doing that. And I've not decided a color yet for this design. But it would have to be a contrasting color to blues and greens so that it really stands out. I'm thinking yellows or oranges, and I do have those in my color palette. So as I go through and I do all of this, I think I'm going to speed this part up and add in the music for this and turn it into kind of like a speed color along, because I don't want the video to go that long, and you all get the idea of what I'm doing. So we are going to insert the music right here. As you can see, I went through and I lined everything. Now I'm going to come back with my aqua, and I'm just going to very lightly kind of pull all that out. And the reason that I did that is because, like I said before, this little tag here on the bottle that says memories, I want it to really stand out, and I want it to look like it is just laying on top of the bottle. I just want to kind of add some dimension to it. And this is how you would add dimension. And it looks like I just forgot some spots in here. So I'm just going to go around and I am going to pull all this out, and I am going to insert some music here again. Okay, so now I'm coming back with my light green, and I'm just pulling it out a little bit more and adding in a little bit more of this green, but still keeping white, the white from the actual page around it. just because I'm trying to give it, like I said before, that like floaty potion look. And I just think that looks cool. And I kind of like this effect where it's just kind of in certain areas. I have never colored bottles before, and I am just having so much fun with this one. I am so glad I picked this page. I love this light green. So pretty. I think I kind of have the look going here that I am looking for, or the effect that I'm looking for. I'm going to add a lot more shadowing here. And you can see the huge difference that this makes when you come in with your darkest color. That's why when you're picking your palette and you want to pick your own pencils, I always tell you, make sure you've got colors that are going to contrast a little bit, and make sure that you always have enough of your darkest colors, because your darkest colors and your lightest color, if they are far enough away from one another, like darkest to lightest shades, it's going to make all the difference in the world. But I think that's making quite a bit of difference. And I want to come in here and kind of darken the bottom areas up. I may need to sharpen my pencil again here. Don't ever be afraid to lay down more pigment from your pencils, but always make sure that you do it very slowly, because you can always apply more. But it is harder if you use a lot of pressure and lay down too much, and then you have to try to pull it up with an eraser, because that doesn't always work to your advantage. I'm just adding in my shading color where I see fit now, or where I think it's going to look good. And I see here in some areas where I didn't pull this out enough. And I am pushing a little bit harder with this one because I want it to have a certain look, and I kind of want that shadow behind this. I I just want this bottle to scream mystical, because that is our theme. And so I'm really just kind of trying to bring that into my page. And I already have a whole idea as to how I want the end result of this page to look. I think that looks good. I need to come back in here. While I work on some of this, I'm going to go ahead and do a little bit of a speed coloring again and speed it up a little bit, and you can watch exactly what I'm doing and follow along. And I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I kind of had another idea, and I think now I'm just going to kind of go around and I'm going to very lightly add in some of this color, my ultramarine. Is that what that was? Yes, ultramarine. And I'm just going to pull in this darkest color. I kind of think that this is just giving it a more mystical look. In my mind, anyway. Y'all have to tell me what you think in the comments. But I haven't burnished it yet, so I can add color where I need to add color still, and I've still got some more layers in the paper. But this is turning out much better so far than the first time I tried it. That's why I always tell you guys, practice, practice, practice. If you are a beginner and you're just coming into this coloring, this adult coloring world, make sure you practice a little bit every day, because it does make a huge difference. Oh, I think that looks really good. It makes it look more like a potion. Okay, so I'm just coming back up in here, and I'm just adding a little bit more of the teal. I'm going to keep this part right here reflective, and I'm going to keep the white of the paper. I tried to get my lid as sharp as I possibly could, because now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to line this right here a little bit more. Oh, that looks really good. we've done, I think that we are ready to come in and burnish this out a little bit and kind of make it all come together. And to do that, I'm going to use my sky blue light, and I'm just going to go in a circular motion, and I'm going to go over everything. And I am going to speed the video up right now as you guys watch me do that. The bubbles to kind of be coming up this way. So I'm going to start drawing the bubbles in. And you won't be able to see it yet when I'm just doing it just with the Posca. I'm just going to go around and I'm going to make some circles. And they don't have to be perfect. It does help if they're not in the white space though, because they'll show up more so that when you come back and do the next part, you'll be able to see them. I really wish this Posca would show up a little bit more. Oh, there we go. That's because it's so dark there. It's starting to flow now. Okay, so I'm going to show you now what to do with these bubbles, and we have to make sure that they are completely dry first. So if you go over them like this a second time, then you can really see where they are. They're probably kind of hard to see on camera, but when you're doing your own page, you'll definitely be able to see them. Okay, so we need to give those a minute to dry, but I'm thinking that I kind of just want the bubbles going up the side. Okay, so they should be dry now. I'm going to come back with my ultramarine, and I am going over the white Posca. now that we have all of our bubbles where we want them placed, I just really kind of want them going up, you know, the effect going upwards in the jar or the bottle. So I've got them all where I want them. Oh, I think I see one that I didn't go over. So they're kind of hard to see when you initially do them. When you do them, you take your darkest color, and I like to add a little dimension in the corner like this. And kind of pull it down like that to make it look like a true bubble. And I might, instead of using my Posca pen, I'm going to use my, what is this, the Uniball Signo white gel pen, and I'm just going to come in here. Okay, it was working. And I'm going to just place white dots up in that corner over where the dark blue is. That one will be more of a line. And by doing this, I'm just kind of adding even more dimension. So some of them I did it where the blue part was, and some of them I'm doing it down below just to try to make the darker part of it stand out. This one I'm going to do it like this. Move up a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. I hope y'all are able to create the same thing on your own if you want to. Don't get discouraged because, you know, don't get discouraged if you feel like it doesn't turn out the way that you wanted to the first time. And I'm going to show you real quick my first time if you're not in my Facebook group. But this is the finished bottle. I absolutely love it. I think it turned out absolutely beautiful. And I know that this tutorial is kind of long, so it will probably be Monday when you guys see this. But this was, oh, my page is still a little wet from the white Posca. But this was my first one where I was just practicing. And I liked it, and it looks good, but it was a good first. And this is my second attempt, and I love this one even way better. So like I tell everybody, practice makes perfect. You just got to keep practicing and practicing and practicing, and the more that you practice, the better you'll get at it. Like on the other one, I went with white around here, around the top, with the Posca, and drew in some extra lines and stuff. And I don't think that I want to do that on this one. I don't know, I may change my mind later, but I kind of like this one just the way that it looks with just the bubbles. I think it looks more realistic. So you'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. You'll have to try it, and if you do try it, you'll have to post it on my Facebook or my Facebook group and share it with all of us. But I hope y'all liked this video, and if you did, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, because again, that really helps my channel out, and it helps YouTube to recommend these types of videos to you and more of my videos to you. Make sure that you are subscribed and you turn on your bell notifications so that you always get notified every time I post a video, especially if you're doing this color along with us. We'll have everything that I mentioned in this video or any of the supplies that I used listed down in the description. I will also have cards up in the upper right hand corner and links down in the description for any videos I may have mentioned in this video, as well as hopefully I'll remember to link the playlist for this color along, because we are going to continue on this page with more tutorials. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you back in the Facebook group. Happy coloring. Bye.